Hello, welcome to Sky Sweaty Record Review, episode 115. It's usually the internet's only first listen new music review show hosted by a French professor immediately after leaving the gym. But this is my third concert review. I'm going to be reviewing the concert by Hippo that happened last night in Toronto at the Phoenix Concert Hall. Now, I have a whole bunch of funny stories and a lot of meditations about what it's like to go to concerts in your 40s versus going to concerts at your 20s. It's almost like a stand-up comedy skit. But I'll get to that at the end. I want to first talk to you about watching Hippocampus in concert. So Hippocampus is a band I'd never heard of before I did this channel. Never even heard of them. I reviewed them in my 9th video, so it's my 115th video now, so it was like 104 videos ago, whatever it was. 106, I don't care. And you know, it was awesome. It was the first time that like the fans of a band interacted with me, and I got kind of into them, and I reviewed their other album, and I was really excited. So I was really happy to see them. But it's funny because I'm not like a super fan. I don't know the name of any of the members of the band except for Whistler, who's the drummer, because I had like a back and forth with his dad on Twitter, right? And like, it's clearly a band that inspires a lot of confidence and love. But I just went. You know, I like this band. I like the 2 albums that I have. I'm just going to go. And this is the thing. They were excellent. I sort of feel like, you know, people talk about the death of rock and roll. I think part of the reason that rock and roll might die is that this band should be a lot more popular than they are. They are a perfect example of why rock and roll music is excellent to watch live. They are the best kind of live rock band. They're the kind of band where every single member completely matters to every single note. It matters who is playing what. It matters how they play together. They very clearly formed themselves by playing together. They're extremely tight, but they're not rigid. You know, they're not playing like note for note like they are on the album, but like they very clearly know each other, care about each other, and know how to play together. Now, they're not as good as Radiohead, but it's in that class of concert where you get that sense that just like these people have been playing together for a long time. They are all excellent at what they do, and watching it is like inspiring and moving. You know, I mean, like, you know, it's fun seeing Dylan. You know, it was fun seeing Dylan. It was fun seeing Panic at the Disco. You know, but that's just like one guy and then a whole bunch of like really great studio musicians, which is good. But nothing beats an actual rock band where everything matters. I really appreciate the way that they play songs just the right amount of different from the album, right? So some songs are sped up or slowed down, or there's electronic elements that they have to change to acoustic elements. But they do it in a way that isn't forced and is enjoyable. And it makes it worth it to see them in concert. And you can still sing along, you know, everything matches. I'll get to singing along in a second. But it's just a little bit different. So I'll kind of talk a little bit more about the sort of members individually. Because they all match so well together, you'd think that they wouldn't all be individual, but they are. They all have their each traits. So there's the lead singer. I don't know his name. He reminds me a lot of Bo Burnham. Actually, he has that kind of like lanky, dorky, like charming energy. He does a lot of this when he sings. Like he has his guitar on his neck. He has a lot of that action. But he's an amazing singer. Great range. Like he sings his falsetto stuff. He sings his low stuff. A little too stylized for me at times. You know, like, all right, take it down a notch. But really excellent. He isn't much of like an out front man. It's interesting because the other guitarist is basically the hype man for the band. I call him the Vincent Cassel dude because he just reminds me of Vincent Cassel, the French actor. He sort of has the feeling of like the band's biggest fan who happens to be in the band. Like he's the one who's always like clapping and singing along to the song while someone else is singing. But it's really necessary because the lead singer has this sort of energy of sort of like being kind of introverted, kind of awkward. But he's good enough to pull it off, you know. Like, in order to pull that off, you have to be a really good musician, good songwriting, good singing, good playing, and everything. And he does. But it's interesting having this other guitar guy who's like, come on, Toronto. I think he made a shout out to Kawhi Leonard, the basketball player, which is a little bit at odds with the atmosphere put forward by the front man. The drummer, my favorite part of the band, he's great. He has kind of like a Logan Paul haircut, which you young people, it's all like, I don't know. That's the only strike against him. Well, that and he plays drums left-handed, which always makes me feel uncomfortable as a drummer. But he's great. He didn't disappoint me at all. Just an excellent drummer who plays the beats that need to be played, plays the fills that need to be played, never overdoes it, matches the song. Just my favorite kind of drummer. There's two multi-instrumentalists, which is really nice. One is the bass player. I call him Riverdale. He reminds me of like an actor from a CW show. And like a really good bass player. If you get to see them live, like there's a certain sound that Fender basses can make when they have just a little bit of distortion on them, or like overdrive. Like he has that like really like driving bass sound. It's really nice. But then he also plays keyboards. Like on the song Doubt, he plays the Doubt. He plays the keyboards on that. It's just great. And then you also have this other multi-instrumentalist I just call Fishbone, because he reminds me of a guy in the band Fishbone. He has kind of like a Fishbone haircut. He has that sort of like super positive energy. But he's great because he like fills in, like he plays bass when the other guy's playing keyboard, or he'll play tambourine, or the best part is he plays trumpet and other horns. And so like at times in the album there'll be something electronic and he'll play the horns, like on the first track of the concert, Bambi, which is my favorite song by Hippo in general. There's I think a pedal steel solo, and he plays it on the trumpet, and it's just awesome. It's so cool. It's really exciting because you know the notes that are coming, but you don't know how they're going to get there. And they build space in their songs where they expand it a little bit and they play together and they jump around, but it's not like a forced jumping around. So there you go. You got Bo Burnham, Logan Paul, Vincent Cassell, Riverdale, and Fishbone. Those are the 5 members. And one thing that I like about them is like, so part of my VIP package, which I'll get to in a second, part of my VIP package was I got like autographs from them, and like they all have their own little symbols. And I remember being in high school and working on my band and developing symbols for each of us and nicknames and cool little logos. They do all the things that I wanted to do if I were ever a successful musician, which I really, really, really was not. But there were, I would say, I don't even know if I would say the bad parts. Like on the song Simple Season, it starts off with this kind of like electronic drums, and like it was mixed a little bit poorly. It didn't quite work, but I don't even think that's bad. Like, I'm so happy to see a band where something can go wrong, that something going wrong is actually good, because it shows to me that it happens so infrequently. They're so tight that it has that human element. The song Doubt is one of my favorite songs of theirs. They really slowed it down. And I can't tell if they slowed it down because it's too hard to play or if because it would not sound good. So that's just me being kind of a perfectionist. And that maybe it's just I like that song so much. One thing about the singer, so like everyone was singing along to all of his words, but I don't know the words to any of their songs. But I listen to their music a lot. And I don't know how they do it. Like, I don't know how the singer does it. Because it's not like he's singing nothing. Take for example, the song Bambi, my favorite song of theirs, I've read the lyrics, and it's pretty clearly about, like, fame changing him and feeling like he's losing track with his fans and all that stuff. But, like, I don't know any of the words. Like, to me, it's just like, dumped in myself up, for some pa-tam, nimit. Dump to my time, civet. Like, that's how I hear the song. I don't know what that is. But then I realized, one of their biggest influences apparently is the band Phoenix. And it has a similar feeling. Where Phoenix's words don't really matter. They're more just like sounds that go along with the music. So somehow, the lead singer, Bo Burnham, whatever his name is, Jack. I think his name is Jack. That's what my girlfriend said. We'll go with Jack. It like somehow manages to like have that feeling where the words really are an accompaniment to the music and not the other way around. So I don't know. Oh, that song Doubt is like my favorite. 'Cause I think the first words are good guy, it's a toss-up, But I just always sing, good guy is a tosser. And I just have fun singing it like John Travolta. So it was a great band. I'm going to see them next Thursday. They're playing in Syracuse. I'm going. That's how good they are, you know. I'm not a Deadhead, but I used to be. I saw Grateful Dead in concert 19 times. I've seen Radiohead 6 times, I think, you know. Like, when there's bands like this that play this well together, you just have to go. You just have to see it. It's why live music can be so great. Okay. I promised you some old man stories. And what time is it? Yeah, I have enough time to tell you some old man stories. Okay. So, the meet and greet, first of all. I never bought tickets to a meet and greet. In my day, you didn't have the choice to pay $100 to meet the goddamn band. Do you know how lucky you have it? I would have done that to every concert I ever went to. I would have met Smashing Pumpkins. I would have met Radiohead. I would have met a bunch of bands you've never heard of anymore. I would have met Hum. You know. But, like, I totally would have done that. But I didn't know how it worked. So I live in Rochester. The concert's in Toronto. That's like 4 hours away. I just figured I'd roll into town. You know, 6 o'clock, and meet and greet the band. It turns out it was at 3:45. So if any of you are old like me and have never done that before, you have to get there really early. But I at least got all the swag and the posters, and that's all I really care about. I would have met them and been like, I don't know your name. Are you the drummer guy? I talked to your dad. And, you know, and then just all these girls would be like, ah! Like losing their mind and, like, you know, knowing their zodiac signs. Another thing I want to talk about is, like, I'm 41, right? So I've been going to concerts since my first concert was Paul McCartney when I was like 12, 11, you know? And, like, I realized there's, like, stages of concert going. And this channel is about music, but it's also about the way that music and life interact, you know? So, like, when you're in your teens, you go to concerts and you feel like the coolest person in the world. But you're aspirational cool. You want to be as cool as the 20-year-olds, the college kids in the crowd. You know, you try to imitate their style. You try to imitate their cool. And then you actually get to be in your 20s. And then you're just like, I'm all good, you know, like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm into new music. I'm hip. I'm cool. I got fashion. And then you hit 30s and it's the worst. When you go to concerts in your 30s, you are reminded that you are no longer in your 20s. The majority of your friends have just given up on music altogether. And you're basically there surrounded. Either you're at a concert where it's all old people and you feel like, oh, damn, I've missed the boat. I don't know what's cool anymore. Or you're at a concert and you're the oldest person there and you feel like, you know, nothing is as sad as an aging hipster, you know, the Austin Powers line. Or Chris Rock, you don't want to be the old guy in the club, you know. Ooh, is that my Chris Rock impersonation? You know what? I didn't fully commit to it, which made it worse. But anyways. So the 30s are rough because you just feel super old. But once I hit my 40s, I'm now in a state of zen. I don't care. I was the only person in that concert over the age of 40. And I think my girlfriend might have been the only person in the club over the age of 30. Hippocampus is a very young band. They feel very young, you know, hopeful and together and like, you know, just, you know. And their crowd was like that. You know, like there was this one dude who had like his hat on the side of his head, and he had his little you know skinny jeans and his Chelsea boots, and like I just ended up just loving it. It was just great. I didn't care that I wasn't cool. I didn't care that I was the old guy. I was just sitting there. They had couches, so we missed the entire opening band. She might have been good. I don't know. When you're old, you don't go to the opening act. And I just sat on the couch with my girlfriend. We got a shawarma. We're eating a shawarma, and we're just looking at all the people in the merch line and just thinking how fun it is. It's just awesome seeing all these young people. You know, so you skip the opening act, and then when you actually get on the floor to watch the concert, you have to look and you find the pillar, and then you lean against the pillar. So I went to a concert, because when you're in your 30s, you think you can still do it, and then you leave and your back hurts and your feet hurt and your ears hurt. I put in like earplugs with like the tissue sticking out of my ears. I was leaning against the pillar, completely enjoying myself, just giving in to this old age thing. And I left early, which is another reason I have to go see them in Syracuse. It was a 4-hour drive, but listen, I'm a little cool. Why am I recording this in my office right now? Because I slept on the floor of my office, right there. That's where I slept. I was woken up by the cleaning people outside. I went to teach my 8 a.m. class on 4 hours of sleep because I'm hardcore. I saw Hippocampus. So anyways, thank you for anyone who's watching this, thank you. Because doing this show has allowed me to be open to going to see these kinds of things and being open to new music and being open to feeling so old in a place so young and enjoying a band so young that's so good. In conclusion, go see Hippocampus if you can. They are great in concert. All right, there's the camera. All right, small postscript here. For reasons I cannot get into, I am in a tuxedo now. I feel a little bit better. And I just wanted to, I thought it might be fun to show off all the stuff that I got for my VIP meet and greet. Or my VIP get to Toronto 3 hours too late. It was actually funny because when I talked to the guy who ran the merch table, he was like, thank you for being so cool about not getting to meet the band. I guess a lot of people show up late and then they get mad that they can't meet them. I'm like, no, that was my fault. And again, what was I going to say? You know? So anyways, it's too bad I didn't get to meet them, but I did get all this cool stuff. So I thought for posterity I'd show it off. I got this patch, which I assume is like their logo, or one of their logos. They seem to have a lot. I got this cool dog tag, which I think would go pretty well with my tuxedo right now. So, it's kind of got their logo on there too. It says Bambi Tour 2019. That's pretty sweet. And then the guy felt so bad that we didn't get to meet him. I think he threw this in for free. So this is a Bambi postcard signed by all the members of the band. I'll eventually get to know all their names. I have a little frame here. So I'm going to put this in the frame. I figured that'll be cool. So let's see there. All right, there it is in the frame. And then this awesome exclusive poster signed by the band, which I think is really beautiful. So, I didn't get to meet the band, but I did get to support them. And as I always say, buy good music. I've been thinking about the concert all day. It's been super positive, really, really good in my head. I've been listening to their music again. I was wrong about the song Doubt. They don't play it slower live. It's just kind of amazing to watch them play it, especially Witherspoon. What's his name? Whistler, the drummer guy, playing the drums. It's just an awesome thing to see. So, all right, if you're at the Syracuse show and you see me, you should say something. But if you're not, then and if you're one of these people who likes my reviews of Hippocampus and you want to see my review of their second show, put that in the comments. Audience engagement. Okay, well, I have to go off and live a life of international mystery. And all right, camera's still there.